What is going on YouTube? So today I'm going to be going over GameStop and AMC stock and why I believe this week we are going to see some extreme volatility in both of these stocks. But before I do get into why I believe that, make sure to go down and subscribe if you guys are new to the channel because I do update you guys on AMC and GameStop stock every single day. So as you all know, Roaring Kitty is back and he did cause GameStop to go from $26 to $30.90 within a couple of minutes. They did halt GameStop as soon as Roaring Kitty posted for the first time in 3 months, but at the end of the day, there is nothing that the market makers or the hedge funds can possibly do to stop what is coming. GameStop has now closed 6 green weeks in a row, and GameStop this past week closed green by 1 penny than what it closed at the previous week. So 2 weeks ago it closed at $29.05. This past week it closed at $29.06. What do you know? The volume is there. You know, the volume has picked up pretty good. The last time that we saw volume like this was the day that someone bought $90 million worth of GameStop while it was trading at $19. So earnings happened 5 days after Roaring Kitty's last post. When he posted the Andy dropping the Chewy emoji, 5 days later, GameStop released earnings. GameStop crashed to $19. And then on September 20th, about a week after earnings, someone put in $90 million and bought 5 million shares of GameStop. GameStop goes up like crazy. Then we double bottom here at $20. And now we're trading at $29. Who do you think bought those 5 million shares after earnings? Roaring Kitty posted on September 6th that he dropped Chewy. And he did. He sold all his Chewy. GameStop earnings happens 5 days later. It crashes and then someone buys another 5 million shares. Who do you think it was? There's only one answer to that question. I really do think, and you already know what I'm going to say, it was Roaring Kitty. I really do believe it was Roaring Kitty. AMC dropped pretty hard on Friday from $5.56 all the way to $4.61 within a day on the news that they were going to sell 50 million shares. Now, these 50 million shares haven't been sold yet. It does give AMC the right to sell these shares at any time they want. Now, obviously, they didn't sell these shares yet, and I believe they did this because they're getting ready for a squeeze, because when AMC does squeeze, they're going to want to take advantage and sell shares at a higher price. And they do this 1 day after Roaring Kitty posted. 1 day later, AMC does this filing to sell up to 50 million shares. It's because they are anticipating a squeeze, just like everyone in the community right now is. I did buy some $5 calls expiring in 2 weeks for AMC, about 200 contracts. If it does dip more tomorrow, I am planning on buying more and just loading the frick up. I am going to be trading GameStop weekly calls for sure this week, so I will update you guys whenever I do load into some weekly calls on my Twitter. Make sure to go follow me there. My username is Mikey's_money. But the volume is going to continue. Roaring Kitty is back, and everyone knows that when Roaring Kitty is back, it gets pretty freaking crazy for GameStop. Like I did discuss in my last video, you can argue that this is a cup and handle here that we've had from $32 to $26. Roaring Kitty post comes back to like $31, and then we got a nice handle right here. I believe GameStop will have a good pump these next 2 trading days, Monday and Tuesday. After earnings comes out, I really can't say what is going to happen. If they announce that they invested like into Bitcoin or something, it'll more than likely skyrocket. But then again, Roaring Kitty did tweet 5 days before last earnings, and then on earnings it dropped. Roaring Kitty also has now tweeted 5 days before this earnings, and now we're just gonna have to see what happens. You know, I don't want to say it's gonna drop, but you know, it usually does drop on earnings. So it's really risky playing calls on earnings, especially if they're weeklies. Me personally, I might gamble a little bit, but I'm not going to go all in on weekly calls, especially the day of earnings. I might buy some Monday morning, tomorrow morning, and then close them out if we do get a pump on like Tuesday, the day of earnings. But more than likely, I would not be writing any calls, like weekly calls going into earnings. Obviously, if you're holding January calls, then that's another story. But yeah, I definitely will be trading weekly calls on GameStop. There's a lot of money to be made this week, I'm telling you right now. And I do believe AMC will bounce off this level. You know, we came down a lot and we were just trading at $5.50. AMC definitely has more upside than downside from where we're at right now. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. I'm not telling anyone to buy, sell, or hold. This is just my personal opinion. So I did go over when Roaring Kitty posted that Jared Lang said squeeze it at Keith Gill. He posted this at 10:50 a.m. on December 5th of 2024. An hour and 55 minutes later, after Jared Lang made this post, Roaring Kitty tweeted, and Gill, which is a meme coin, also squeezed alongside GameStop stock. So GameStop went from $26 to like $31, Keith Gill squeezed on the Phantom wallet, as well as, GameStop coin. I did put a couple $100s into each of these coins. Obviously, it is a gamble, but I do believe it is a good gamble because these coins are going to squeeze alongside GameStop. And, if you believe in the squeeze for GameStop, then you should also believe that these coins will go up alongside it. I believe the market cap right now for Keith Gill, is around 800,000. That could easily go up to 50 million, 100 million within a couple days, especially if we do see some more Roaring Kitty posts. And yeah, obviously Roaring Kitty made this post literally 2 hours after Jared Lang said squeeze it. Now, Keith Gill, this is obviously how it's spelled for the Phantom wallet, the meme coin. Right now, it's like at 800,000 market cap. It will squeeze alongside GameStop. He said it's time, and then he added the emoji timeline. We did catch in one of my previous videos how the emojis are dark. As you guys noticed, the flag emoji, the dog emoji is dark, and then when it gets to the last 6 emojis, it turns light. These are the most important emojis. Obviously, we got the dog emoji when the filing came out that Roaring Kitty sold all his Chewy. The election happened. Then GameStop broke out at $25 resistance. Now GameStop is on fire 6 green weeks in a row. What happens after the fire? An explosion. And then a cheers. We could really get this explosion any day now, in my opinion. I believe it will happen very soon. So GameStop did the exact same thing that AMC did in December of 2020. They were anticipating a squeeze, so they took advantage. AMC squeeze is on the table now more than ever. Yes, AMC might not go back to all-time highs, but if your average price is still high, it is on you for not buying the dip. If you were going to buy AMC because you believed in something and then it freaking dips 90% and then you lose your faith, you lose belief, that's on you. That is on you, because when AMC was trading at $3, I was buying crap loads. When it was trading at $2.90, I was buying every dip with every paycheck. I would keep like 5% of my paycheck cash just to freaking get by, and I would dump the rest into AMC stock while it was trading at all-time lows, and that really did pay off. Now, if you lose belief in the squeeze, that's on you. So this article starts off by saying, we may offer and sell from time to time. That sounds a lot like what AMC said on Friday. This was released on December 8th of 2020, and obviously GameStop squeezed within the next month. On January 28th, it went crazy. But the main reason I believe it can happen this month in December, a huge squeeze, and then we get some pullback, and then in January we squeeze again. The main reason I believe that is because if we pull up the MACD on the monthly chart, this center line crossed in November for the first time since December. In December, the MACD crossed the center line. The following month, it squeezed like crazy. Now, it has crossed in November. In the month of November, the following month, what's going to happen? It is going higher and higher. And we might not get it this month, but I believe if it plays out how I believe it's going to play out, we're going to see some huge kitty ears. Some huge kitty ears on GameStop stock, and it is going to be there for the rest of history. Just like we got these 2 kitty ears here, I believe we're going to get a squeeze in December, come back down, retest it on $30, and then we squeeze again in January. And that's my prediction, obviously. That's what I really do believe is going to happen. Kevin Malone said last week GameStop traded 82 million shares and closed 1 cent away from the previous week. Price fixing is a disease and needs to be held accountable. There was a lot of volume this week, and we really only moved up 1 penny from where we closed last week. But, obviously when Roaring Kitty tweeted, there was some crazy price action from $26.15 all the way to $30.87. And then we get these articles coming out saying, is the Roaring Kitty effect over? I mean, what the hell is going on? How is the Roaring Kitty effect over if he makes a tweet and the stock jumps up over 10%? Within a couple minutes, stock gets halted. It really doesn't look like the kitty effect is over. It looks like it is just getting started, and it's built up to something that really cannot be stopped. This guy said, here comes the mainstream media again trying to scare us off from GameStop. However, this headline, which says wave bye-bye to GameStop, reads to me as the stock is about to explode, and we'll be waving bye-bye to these idiot journalists on our way to Mars. So Seeking Alpha also came out with this article today and said, GameStop, it's time to wave bye-bye to this stock once and for all. Howard J. Klen will really burn in the deepest depths of hell. But that is going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did make it to the end of the video and you haven't subscribed yet, what the heck are you guys doing? Make sure to go down and subscribe. Like I said, I did load into a bunch of $5 calls expiring December 20th for AMC. I believe AMC will make a bounce alongside Gamestop. And as for Gamestop, I definitely will be playing weekly calls throughout this whole week. But more than likely, I will close out of my calls on Tuesday before earnings because, you know, anything could freaking happen. It is just really a 50-50 gamble. I might hold like 1 or 2 contracts going into earnings just in case, but I'm not going to go, you know, all in on weekly calls right before earnings. It is just too risky. But obviously, if GameStop does dip on earnings, I will buy any dip it does give us. Any dip that GameStop gives us on earnings, it is going to get ate up by bulls. I could almost guarantee you guys that. But I will keep you guys updated on what happens with AMC and GameStop stocks, so make sure to stay tuned on my channel. And I'll catch you guys in my next video. As y'all know, I'm buying the dip.
Here we go. Come on, push it.